Jonty was speaking to you Tuesday evening. You've had a few days since the St Helens game, and we're going to give the lads a bit of a squad update. We're going to give the fans a bit of a squad update about the lads, about some injuries that the lads have picked up. But before we go into that, I just want to have a quick look back at Saturday. We didn't get a chance post-game. Obviously, it was such a big occasion to catch up. Just a quick look back at Saturday. Obviously, I mean, we've said Saturday was never about the result. It was always about the occasion. It was a fantastic occasion, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, mate. And rightly so. We had a great weather for it with the country's best team coming up for the first time in God knows how many years. And we had a crowd to back that. I was so glad that the fans turned up in numbers, and whether it was to watch St Helens or ourselves, it's by the by, just to watch a good game of rugby. And I think all the players that played, or my players played on Saturday, gave a great account of themselves. They gave a good advert for the Championship, and it proves that, like, even if it's the fits and starts, but when you put St Helens under pressure, like we did at the start, and we broke them a few times, and it's just a shame we didn't finish a couple of them breaks or a couple of them chances, Jordan, because even though I don't think the result was in doubt, I do think the scoreline doesn't give our lads justice of how much effort they put in, mate. I really do feel it should have been like a 30 points to 10 or even a 36-10 or something like that. You know what I mean? It just looks as though it got a bit out of hand. And I suppose St Helens, it did. They got some easy tries at the end on the ruck and on the goal line, which in a normal league game, I'd be a bit frustrated with that. But you take into account we lost 2 subs early in the first 8 minutes, so my middles were doing big minutes. So, yeah, but it was a great occasion, mate. I thought the lads, all I asked of the lads was to go and enjoy, but give us everything. And you've seen by some of the defending we done, and there were some really good performances. Some lads stood out, but everybody put their hand up, which is that's more than I can ask, mate. It was really pleasant to see.
Yeah, no, of course. And like you say, it was never about the result. It was always about the occasion. And to see the Yellow Arena with almost 5,000 people in for the first time in almost a decade. Well, in fact, it'd have been over a decade. Just shows, the appetite is there. I mean, yeah, there was over 1,100, nearly 1,100 from St Helens, but that shows there was 3,500 or so West Cumbrians that were there to support, whether there was support white name in the St Helens. It shows that you bring the big games up, as it has done with the World Cup almost a few years ago now. The big games are brought up to West Cumbria and Cumbria. The appetite's there for them.
Well, of course it is, and if the top teams will fetch loads of fans, and that's what you want. You want them. You want a good atmosphere. You don't want it one side. And I thought the Saints fans, even though there was 1,000 of them, you could still hear them over at times over hours. But whenever we doing some good things, the reaction of the crowd was fantastic. Just even little things like that, breaks and stuff like that, and some good defence when we put Saints on the back. So I thought it was applauded.
Yeah, man. No, it certainly was. Like you say, it's a fantastic occasion, and hopefully we have more in the future. But looking ahead now, a bit more of a downside, unfortunately. You reached out earlier today and advised you want to give the fans a squad update. It's been a busy period since the start of the season. Haven't really had a week off because we have progressed so far in the Challenge Cup, and it's been a challenging time with a challenging time coming up well in terms of fixtures. It never really sort of stopped in the Championship, and so yeah, we've got a squad update. A few injuries in the camp at the moment, leaving us down to pretty much bare bones. And I want you to go into that and as you want to, and just give the fans sort of an update on what we can expect.
Yeah, and that's what I want to do, Jordan. I'm not one of these facetious. It's West Cumbria. If I say or don't say it tonight, the news gets out there. So I want to be upfront with the fans, and I think they deserve it for what they do for supporting us. So I mean, as good as Saturday was, mate, we've come out of it. It's put a bit of a dampener on the occasion. We obviously the 2 subs we had to use within 8 minutes with Liam Cooper on the stretcher, and Tom Wilkinson with his shoulder, and then the very last tackle of the game, Alex Bishop clashed knees, and more or less there was gone off the field and the hooter went. So out of them 3 lads, you would think the stretcher was the worst, but Liam, even though he's not great, I think Liam could be back in a week or 2, maybe 3 or 4 week tops. But Tom Wilkinson's went to go to the fracture clinic. He's in a sling at the moment. He's went to go to the fracture clinic on Thursday to see what the damage is with his AC joint. I think maybe picked up a fracture in that joint. So if that's the case, Tom Wilkinson will be out for a good period of time. I would think maybe 2 or 3 months. But like you say, we'll have to wait and see what the fracture clinic says. And regards Bish, I'm gutted for the lad. It is looking like a season-ending injury. He clashed knees, and we just thought it was a burster or something like that under his kneecap. But he's gone for an X-ray, and he's absolutely shattered his kneecap, mate. So I'm gutted for the lad. He's just starting to come good, and I thought on Sunday he defended really well. He did, and he's played in a number of positions for us at 7 and 9, and we'll miss his experience. You know what I mean? But I am absolutely gutted for him. But regarding the injury, I've spoken with him a couple of times, and he's in good spirits. But obviously, he's going to be. It's going to affect him for the rest of this season, anyhow. So we just wait to get Bish an operation. See what the consultant and that says. So that's the injuries from the weekend, and even before that, we've had Chris Taylor. Chris is waiting for a scan still. He's getting it this week. I think he told us on Saturday. If not, it's early next week on his shoulder injury. He said he feels a bit better, but like you say, maybe feel better. We'll have to wait and see what the scan fetches up and the consultant says to him. So Chris, I would imagine, is at least 6 or 8 weeks away. James Newton. That was another phone call I got this morning. New to their scan last week. He got his report back today. And on the report, it says that Newt needs to see a knee specialist as soon as possible to update him with where he is. But that, again, is another potential season-ending injury for Newt, which both them lads, him and Newt and Bish, I'm gutted for them. It's so early on in the season, and the two pivotal players, but both can play 9. Like say, Bish can play 7. They're instrumental in what I'm doing in my squad, so they're part of my spine. And so for them two lads to come up in, I answered my phone yesterday, it was Bish, and I answered my phone today, it was Newt with that same news. So if anybody rings us tomorrow, mate, I'm answering. But joking aside, I'm gutted for them, I really am. On the back of that, this week, we've got Guy Graham starting to serve his 2-game ban. We've got Tom Walker, who's on a pre-arranged. He's been cancelled a few times, family gathering type thing, so that can't be avoided. And Tom, talked about this in pre-season. Tom asked us then, I said, yeah, it'd be fine, mate, but so he's got things arranged, so that can't be helped. I think that's obviously, and everybody knows what's at the moment with Glenn, why Glenn's not at the club, so that's 8 of me. What we got 25 signed on, mate. That's 8 of me squad depleted, not available for God knows how long. Obviously, we'll get Tom back next week, and we'll get Guy Graham back after the Sheffield game, and hopefully we'll get Ronnie back for the working game as well. But it's all a wait and see game, mate. So that's where we're at with the injuries. It has just proper knocked the shine for us as a squad and a club off a great occasion at the weekend, mate.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, fans may look and go, "Wow," you know what I mean? It's, you know, I haven't seen something like this for quite a while now, you know, in terms of bodies. And we were discussing just beforehand, you know, that we would expect in 2021, you know, you and Charlo at the time, you went with the bigger squad, expecting the injuries to, you know, to sort of come in, and that's why you went with the bigger squad of 30 plus on this occasion. And you know, we just said there, it wasn't all that bad last season. Yeah, there was a couple of injuries. I mean, Andy Thornley springs to mind. He missed the majority of the season with his injury. But apart from that, your squad weren't really affected of what you would expect. You come into this season where, you know, and unfortunately, you know, that's where the injuries have hit, when you've decided, you know, that the squad wasn't needing to be as big. And unfortunately, at the minute, that's where we are. With, as you mentioned, 8 out of 25. We're essentially down to a bare 17 going into this weekend.
Yeah, that's it. And the reason for last year, for 2021, was lads hadn't played before for 12 months, Jordan, with the COVID situation. So me and Charlo talked last year, and we wanted a bigger squad. The budget allowed us a few more players, and the reasoning behind that was because he hadn't played for so long. It wasn't a case of long-term injuries made. It was a case of like just not being used to knocks and maybe missing 2 or 3 weeks, so we could rotate lads and do stuff like that. But for to come in this year and go with what I thought was well, again, it's budget limiting the squad that like everybody can compete for in this division. And at 25 at the start, it was enough, mate. More than enough, because we bearing in mind last year we had obviously Shax was out for a long time and Greg was out for a long time, so we did have long termers last year. So we've got a few long termers coming up now. We're looking at maybe four long termers, 2 season ending, 2-3 months. So we will look into the market. You know what I mean? And I'm still not regretting going in the season with 25, because I wanted quality rather than quantity, and I think I've got that with the budget being somewhat similar. So obviously now, and I always said this from the start, if we do, and it's inevitably it's rugby, you're going to get injuries, we'll look into the loan market. But we're struggling at the moment. We had a couple from a Super League club arranged last week to come in tomorrow night's training. And with the Super League club getting injuries themselves this weekend just gone and suspensions, they've just said we can't have them coming up. So we need other markets and other Super League clubs. So as we speak now, I'm still expecting a couple coming tomorrow night to training, but that's on the limit of not being ready for the 20, putting them in the 21 for Thursday dinner time, Jordan. That's when I need it sorted by. But and it is what it is. It's if this week I'm going into the game with 17 players, mate, at the end of the day, that's all I need. Yeah, and if I'm being brutally honest, I've got to get on with it. And it's the adversity crack and backs against the wall, and the 17 that I put out against Halifax at the moment, I'm still expecting them to do a job. Yes, we've lost some decent players there, but like I said previously, in the 25, they all play Championship. So I wouldn't expect anything less than 100% and going down to give Halifax a game and hopefully coming back with the spoils. But that's down to the lads' attitude and whoever I pick. So if I'm going down with 10 and 12, man, I'll be in trouble. Like I say, at the moment, I've got 17 fit players, Jordan. So they're in the firing line to go down to Halifax, mate. And I won't take these injuries to these lads who's not playing as an excuse to turn up on Sunday.
You mentioned that obviously a Super League club, and you're looking to bring players in from a Super League club. I suppose heading into Easter, where the Super League clubs have got that double headed on Good Friday and Easter Monday. I suppose it isn't exactly the best time to be going into the loan market because of that.
It's not only that, Jordan. It's now that this year they've got reserve teams as well, these Super League clubs. So when they get a couple of injuries in their first team, they're pulling reserve teams into the first team squad. They won't be playing them in the reserves, so they need the numbers. They pulled the numbers back off us, the 2 lads, to fulfil their fixtures as reserves. So I totally understand that. That's how it should be. They've got to look after themselves, and I will be the same in their shoes, mate. So there's no hard feelings there. It's just it is what it is. That people pick injuries up and they need their own players. I'll be the same. So I just hope with these couple that's coming in this week, hopefully we get them over the line for Thursday.
And we'll look forward to Sunday's game, as you mentioned. You know, as you always mentioned, it's always a tough task in the Championship. Going down to Halifax, we did have some cracking battles with them last season. Obviously, going down on the Sunday of the European Championships final, and that's when Kingy made his debut and come in last season. It was a fixture. I think Charlo was saying that on another day, if we could take our chances, we'd probably have got the 2 points as it would have been. Obviously, the last home game of last season was Jesse's goodbye, and it was a cracking occasion then. And then the playoff game, which was broadcast on Sky, there were all 3 cracking encounters last season. So you'd expect nothing less again going into this weekend, and also possibly meeting up with Lockie and Louis again.
Yeah, that's right, mate. They're a good Championship side at Halifax, and I think they're totally in a false position at the moment because they've played quite a lot of the top teams. So I'm under no illusion that they're going to be in that top 3 or 4 coming the end of the season. And you look at the squad they've got, and they've improved from last year. They've got some real good forwards there, and the back line, they score for fun, can't they? So, I mean, it's a big ask, but that's what we like, mate. We like this challenge, and it's these lads who's going to be playing this weekend for us it's up to them to put their hand up and say, right, we can do this job. And I wouldn't expect anything less than that off my players. Less I wouldn't be happy if they weren't. So I'm quite confident we'll go down and we'll be in a competition. So it's just what it is with numbers wise, but that's no excuse, mate. How we perform on Sunday.
Jonty, thank you very much for giving up your time. I know you've actually got other commitments at the moment, which you've very kindly, give us your time up for on this evening. So it's always much appreciated. We'll catch up with you later on in the week. We'll catch up with you post game on Sunday. And like I said, thank you very much, and we'll speak to you again soon.
That's no worries, Jordan. Like I said, I just don't want to be looked as though we're trying to keep secrets at the club, because we know we're out there and everybody knows now. So that's when people say team sheets and stuff, but they're not talking and making stuff up. We need to get the honesty out there, mate. So yeah, okay, I'll see you Sunday.
Cheers.